What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RBL Weekly. It is the first episode of the off-season. Of course, the thrilling conclusion to the season last week with our 4 division champions crown. There's still a lot to work out here. Who are going to be the MVPs from those cities? Who's going to be representing those cities in the World Championship? Where and when is the World Championship? All of that information is still to come. We have a long off-season, a lot to get into. But today, I wanted to take a step back from the league. We're going to watch some of the best battles from this season, some of the most interesting ones, but I have a special guest here to do it with me. The champ, the first ever roast battle, Comedy Central, second ever. Mike Lawrence won the first one. Frank Castillo, season 2 champion, one of the first ever champions in the belly room, one of the legendary roast battlers, Hall of Famer. What's up, dude?
Hey, it feels good to be here.
Yeah, man, we're in Austin right now.
Yes, we are. It is hot.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why I wore a shirt that will show sweat stains and then turned up to a podcast. Like, I'm a fucking mess. But
did you walk to the podcast?
I walked a block. I got lunch a block away, and then I walked here, and I was just like drenched.
Every time. It's the worst.
And it's September now. We're recording this in September. This is going to air in November. But if it's November, it's still probably going to be 90.
Yeah, it's still going to be gross.
And this is your future halfway home, right?
Yeah, this is going to be my future halfway home. I'm going to be half of the time, I'm going to be in beautiful, sunny, windy, gorgeous California. And the other time, I'm going to be here in hot, fun comedy town, Texas. So let's get to that first before we talk about roast battle stuff. Because right now, as we record this, you're still 100% in LA, but the plan is to split time. Yeah.
You did PuffCon yesterday, which is it's some big weed carnival. I don't fucking know.
Hilarious. It's PuffCon is a concert. It's like a concert convention thrown on by Puffco, which is like his vaporizer company that's worth a bunch of money. But they did Mexican OT, Action Bronson, Larry June, The Alchemist. It was insane. They shut down like 3 city blocks, and it's just weed, food, and just cool vibes. It's ridiculous.
Amazing. And then you got on a plane at 6 a.m. to come here.
Yeah. I was very high on that plane.
Yeah, you seem like you're very high right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But that's not still from PuffCon.
A little bit, probably, yeah.
But you re-upped.
Yeah, I definitely re-upped.
You did illegal drugs in Texas.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny, and I'm steering off topic so much here, but every time you hear anybody talk about moving from LA to Austin, they have like this weird like vendetta against LA where they're like, you can't fucking do anything, man. It's like a dictatorship out there, and referring mostly to like how they handled the pandemic. But then it's like you get here and like Pornhub's restricted. Legally, you can't smoke weed. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. There's like the homeless dudes are out on the side of the corner, like all just look like UFC fighters. Like it's just crazy.
That's my favorite one. How people are like, I had to leave LA to get away from the homeless, and then they move to Austin. It's like, have you walked around, dude? It is gnarly out here.
Demetrius Johnson's walking around looking like he just beat the fuck out of anybody. It's crazy here.
John Bones Jones asked you for $1. Are you gonna say no?
Oh my god,
yeah, dude, fuck that. No, so you're gonna live out here part-time, half and half. Now, a lot of people might look at that and be like, why not make the full move? I'm married, you're married, so I think I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But what is the reasoning for splitting time between the two?
I'm lucky enough to where I'm not in demand enough to be here full time. No, it's the best of both worlds. It's like I could go to LA and get a bunch of spots at the store, but they'll be spread out, right? And then when I come here, I can just do a bunch of spots in 2 weeks. And then when I go back, I've been gone for 2 weeks. So they're like, oh, okay, you're back in town. Let me give you more spots.
That's true.
2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. You're missed enough in both places that if someone hits you up, they're like, hey, do you want to book? You're like, I can't. I'm in LA. And they're like, oh, okay, well, how about the week after?
That's a cheat code.
And then you're like, oh, okay, sick. So now literally every time I'm back and forth, I usually always have consistent spots.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Absolutely.
Which is like a big thing in comedy. I learned that when I was...
marriages.
Yes. Well, I don't. I leave for weeks and my wife barely notices. But that's a me problem. That's for my therapist. We'll leave that. But when I was in Philly, you would link up with people from New York. Like early in my career, you would do a show with somebody from New York and they're like, oh yeah, I run a show in New York. You should come do it sometime. So you'd hit them up and be like, yo, I'd love to do your show. And they're like, when are you in town? And I would always answer wrong. I would always be like, I can do I'm available. And then they stop responding. But if you hit them up and you're like, hey, I'm going to be in town on this date. Do you have any spots? They're more likely to be like, yeah, absolutely. And also, I know 3 more guys who have spots.
Yeah.
If you make them feel like it's special, you being in town, you're more likely to get shit out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it is funny because you use social media like somebody's like 70-year-old aunt.
What do you mean?
What I mean is like, you know how like an aunt goes on vacation and she posts like 400 pictures and it's just like every picture. You do the version of that where like you'll go to Austin. And we all know that Austin rules. We all know there's a million spots to do. But every night you're like, here's play-by-play of every spot that I'm doing. And like, are you trying to like rub it in? What do you, like, we're back in LA. Like there's 2 good shows a month. What's the problem?
So I'm of, this is where Frank gets, and this is what it's it's one of these things that like, you know, you try to get up places in Los Angeles, right? And they're like, oh, you have to have credits. And then you get credits and they're like, well, you need like a followers, you know? And then it's like, well, and then you start to get followers. And they're like, well, you just got to be like good at comedy. Then you're like, well, I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So then you start to get to a point where you're like, oh, I can just go to places and just get a lot of spots. And then you get a lot of spots. You start to just move the chains yourself.
Yeah.
You start to feel it. You start to like grind. And then you're like, oh, I'm just going to work on jokes. And then once you start doing that, people start to kind of notice. And then when you go back and people are like, you're getting a lot of spots. And they're like, yeah, how many spots did you get this week? And then all of a sudden people get upset when you start asking, if the job is stand up and the job is to see how many times we get up, why wouldn't you want to go to a place where you can get up the most or try to get to a point where you can just get up the most, however much as you can within your ability, right? Because I can't get up on weekends. I can't do tour stuff, but I can go to Austin, get up at the Mothership, Sunset, all these random clubs. Then I could go back to the store and get up and do my sets. So it's like when I see people who are on Don't Tells and like, you know, all these other people that are trying to get in at the store or they're like, I'm big, I toured. It's like, yeah, well, you're not at the Mothership and you're also not
true
at the store, you know?
True.
And I'm just a guy that travels and does sets, but also I'm doing this. You know what I mean?
And to be clear, when we say get up on stage as much as possible, you can get up 20 times in a week in
Absolutely.
LA. It's going to cost you $100.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
they're pay to play mics, and you're going to get up in front of zero real audience. So you could do it, but this is quality stage.
And the other thing I'm also starting to point out too is like, yeah, all these like pop-up shows are great. They're fun, but these aren't traditional comedy savvy crowds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we can tell the difference. We see when we go perform at the Mothership, we see when we perform at the store, what these high comedy IQ people are. Not even high comedy IQ. It's just people who are fans of comedy who go and they know what it is. It's not these people who watch TikToks and it's their first or second time ever going to do stand-up, right?
Yeah.
And you're starting to see a lot of that. And especially when the industry is like, these are the guys. And then you're like, not really, man.
Yeah.
They're not in the same lineups as a guy that used to work the door at a club.
Right.
That literally just like is doing all of his own shit. Like, it's tough to not be lied to, but it's tough when people are telling me what the cool shit is. And it's like, that's wild because I'm in it.
There could be multiple cool things. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you're 20, seeing some dude who you found on TikTok who's not a comedian by trade do 15 minutes, maybe that's cool for you.
Absolutely. It is cool.
I don't know.
But here's the other thing that I'll even go deeper and double down on.
Okay.
Is that people want to talk about, you know, good comedy and who's killing and stuff. No one's really like, it feels like putting down heat in a sense of like, I see a lot of people that blow up on TikTok and all this stuff. And if your audience isn't a high comedy IQ audience, in the sense that it's their first or second time coming to see a comedy show, and that's how most of your tour is when you go to these clubs, is people that have only seen comedy once or twice. How good is that hour that you're going to develop off of that audience compared to an audience that is comedy savvy?
Yeah.
Like, that's why you see Jeselnik and all these guys who put out fucking fire, solid hours. It's because all their audiences are smart, comedy IQ kind of people, you know?
Yeah.
It's not people who don't know the etiquette of a comedy club like some people's fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that you have like super strong opinions on comedy.
Oh, it's
you never hesitate to say, even when you should.
Yeah.
You get into like online beefs with open micers, and I text you, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
And then I'm
You're above that. What are you?
I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, like, but I mean, after you won like roast battle, you're at the top of this like mountain, and you're just like taking time to like dunk on people on Facebook, and I'm just like, Michael Jordan didn't. I mean, he might have. He was a psycho, but like LeBron's not turning up to like Lamert Park to dunk on people in like a pickup game.
Hilarious. Well, it's also like it is very funny where people are like, oh, you're picking on people. It's like, no, I don't think I am.
No, you're not picking on them, but it's just like
I have such a high opinion.
Let them be wrong.
Hilarious. Yeah, okay. I'll let you have that. I'll let you let them be wrong. But it's this thing of like, this is all I know.
Yeah.
This is all I can ever really talk about. I didn't go to college. Like this is all I know. So when people are like, no, this is how you do it, I then look at them and I go, okay, well, how are you living your life and how are you living your career? Because if you're telling me this is how you do it, right. I look at how your career is and I go, it doesn't look like this is how you do it.
Yeah. There are a lot of armchair quarterbacks in comedy.
That's the thing who
have made $9 doing it.
People get upset when you start telling them, you're like, oh yeah, you're just an armchair guy. And they're like, no, I do it. And it's like, it's been 10 years.
Well, that's something with roast battle, and let's steer it into the roast battle thing because that's what we're here for. But like you, look, I mean, you were with the show from every era. When I first showed up in 2014, you were the champ in the belly room. Yeah. Then you won the championship on Comedy Central. Now it's expanding to like the league. You're not battling anymore, but you're there.
Yeah.
You're there on Tuesdays. You're here at the mothership. You're judging. You text me random Tuesdays. You're like, what's the lineup? I send it to you. You're not even guaranteed to judge. Sometimes you just pull up because you just want to see it.
Yeah. I still truly love it. I mean, I still host the open mic at the store. Like, people are always like, you're so hard on people. But the people that I like will go out of my way for. Like, if I'm a fan of you in comedy, I will move mountains.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go out of my way to help people because I'm like, oh, I'm a fan of them. I truly love comedy. I still love this. Yeah. So there are times I have such hard opinions on comedy, and it does come off as being like, oh, you're a fucking asshole. But then there's times where I'm just so very sweet. And I have to, because it's like, you got to give back, you know?
Right, for sure. And that's why I say, like, let them be wrong. I got used to that through the roast battle. Yeah. Because like when I started doing it, all of a sudden I started having all these other like opportunities. And I'm listening to these people simultaneously be like, oh, people who do roast battle aren't like real comics. And like, you don't want to do that. It takes time away from developing your stand-up set. And I'm like, I'm over here like making I have like a WGA job. Like, I'm feeding my family like because of this show that I started doing. So it was funny for me to hear because people do have really strong opinions that are based on nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And it's also so funny because people would tell me where they're like, and it's funny because like I've had people like, all you do is roast battle. You're just a roast guy. That's all your show. And I'm like, oh man, if you knew, you would know that is not the case.
Yeah.
You know, because we've talked about the writing jobs and all this stuff. We always get into it, but it's just like, yeah, it's so funny to see like the things people create in their heads to like justify whatever it is.
Let them be wrong. Yeah, that's my thing.
All right, sweet. That's the lesson for today. Is let them.
No, don't you do what you're entertaining.
Hilarious.
But I'm going to let them be wrong.
But that's something that I also have had to learn because it's like, well, what's the point of arguing with this one person?
Yeah.
And then someone afterwards at the store will be like, I saw what you wrote. That was very funny.
Yeah. As long as you keep getting somebody patting you on the back once every couple of years, like, fucking take those open micers down. You're never going to totally quit.
So it's always, my Instagram is comedy and very niche comedy beefs with open micers.
Yeah. I'm here for it. I love it. Now, you've been around recently. You come to like a lot of the showcase shows we do at the mothership where we bring in people from like all over the country, hopefully soon all over the world. I want to get some of our like British battlers out here and, you know, somebody from Tokyo and all that. But you were also kind of like on the ground floor of that. You were the first guy to go to Tokyo, right? You were the first guy to go to Barcelona to judge. And I just got back from Tokyo. I'm going to Barcelona coming up. You were really like the first, before the league even started, they were reaching out to you because your name was like buzzing and everything. Did you ever think it would get to this point where like we're just doing crossover events and like I went with Keith and Kim to Tokyo, like a team flying out there?
Absolutely.
And like,
I think I always knew. I think when we were first doing it, it was kind of like, because Moses always described it as like roast battle being like the foot. Where it was, and I think that's how much it very much was for the longest time. It was very underground. It was very like leave no trace kind of deal, where like you had to be there. The videos would disappear after. It was
Fight Club.
Yeah, it was very nice, and I thought that was great. But then we do have to jump into the 21st century. But yeah, no, I always kind of felt the way that it was like once it all came together, I was like, yeah, this is what it was always meant to be. Because I always felt it had the power of a Kill Tony because those guys came up together. And I think now more than ever, it definitely is clicking the way it should be and firing how it should be. And yeah, I love the way it looks. And I love being a part of it. I love how it's given so many opportunities to so many people. And I've met so many cool friends. I mean, I never thought I'd go to Japan.
Yeah, dude.
Or
same.
Barcelona.
Same. I was about to turn 40. I'd never left North America. And then they're like, if we flew you to Japan and put you up for a week, would you insult this guy on stage? I'm like,
absolutely.
Yeah, dude, this is my dream.
Absolutely.
Like I get a free vacation and I get to be mean.
Yeah.
Where's the bad part?
So I'm from East Side San Jose. Like people in my family do not travel. If they travel once. Right. So to be able to like go to Japan on comedy, let alone just my name, and go to Spain, same thing. Like I have family members that just can't comprehend it. You know, my step grandfather, I remember they didn't know what I was going to do after like college. Of course, everyone has their opinions and stuff. And then I was like, I want to go do stand up. And everyone was like, ugh, you know what I mean? And then I went and did military bases when I was in Japan. And then I did a bunch of other stuff. My grandfather was a military guy. So he was like, holy shit. That was so impressive to him that I got to go to Japan, do stand up for military people, and then come back. Like he couldn't believe it.
Yeah, my family is the same way because I grew up in a small town in New Jersey, just outside of Philly. And like the big trip was once in your life, you might get to go to Disney World. But like every year it was like we went to Hershey Park or like Clementon Lake Park, which was like this little like amusement park, like in a small town. Like, so the idea that you would travel outside of like the tri-state area, let alone, perform overseas is crazy. So I wanted to watch these battles with you. And there's two themes here. Number one is kind of the global expansion. We have a few international battles, but here's the thing. I want to put you on the hot seat real quick before we get into these, because you are the subject of a lot of controversy in the roast battle world right now. Yeah. And do you know what I'm about to say?
The John Luna battle?
The John Luna battle. Let's get into it. So All-Star game here at the Mothership back in July. 5 battles, West versus East. The opening battle, John Luna versus Shelley Gruenberg. Opening battle, LA versus Atlanta. Seems innocuous enough. It's just one battle. The side that wins 3 out of 5, everybody gets a cash bonus on that side, and whoever wins All-Star Game MVP gets a significantly higher cash bonus, which none of these guys knew. They flew out here, and then we told them like day of the show. And then some of them were like, oh, I wish I had prepared harder. It's like, that's why we did it. Yeah. We wanted to, see who would prepare for free. But anyway, so they come out, first battle, John Luna, Shelley Gruenberg. There was controversy in the room. There's controversy online. A lot of people think John should have won. And the judging was split. It was 3-2. Myself and Zach Amico went for John. And you, Alexis Fox, and Catherine Blanford went for Shelley Gruenberg. Yeah. They get off easy because the online audience is like, of course the women vote for the online audience thinks we're the most woke show in comedy,
which is crazy to me.
It's like the whole thing is based on racism and homophobia. I don't know what you guys want.
It's so funny to be like, the voting's woke, but the jokes aren't.
Right. So they think the voting is woke because we robbed a bisexual Latino man, which I guess you got to pick a lane if you're commenting. But yeah, they think that you're woke. They think you cheated. You voted for Shelley. I saw theories that it was because you wanted to have a chance with Shelley romantically. There, all sorts of theories. Set the record straight once and for all. Did you take a bribe? What happened? Why'd you pick Shelley?
Me and Hannah are going through a divorce.
I'm sorry.
Secondly, no. I'll have to rewatch the battle, but here's the thing is like, and you know what it is. Yeah. You've done it, is when you're in there and you're watching, it is so hard to judge. Because 1, you're writing down the jokes that they're doing. And 2, you're trying to think of something funny to say, right? But I also try to really watch the jokes and try to do it objectively. I also have a relationship with John Luna. We've been fucking for years. No, I have a relationship with John Luna. I've seen him come up with the mics. Sure. I've seen him come up with the roast battles. He's very funny. He's one of my favorite people to watch. So I always try to, in my head, be conscious of trying to not be biased in that sense of, oh, you're only voting for John Luna because you know him and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This is the first time I've ever seen Shelley. It's the first time I've ever met her. So And it did suck because after like seeing how much it took him, I was like, fuck. And then it was this weird thing of like, did I do the right thing? Because also like he is my friend and I don't want to fuck my friend over.
Sure.
But then also it was like, well, do I want to fuck this complete stranger over? Like,
and you're worried that inherently you're being biased towards
100%.
your friends. So
Yes.
you overcorrect. I've been there. I've done that. And at the end of the day, ultimately, who cares? In this case, Shelley ends up winning the MVP and all that. And then John's like, fuck, if I had won, I'd have been the MVP. Yeah.
But also, we could get into why she won the MVP, and it's because she's a woman. No. No, well, I mean,
it is.
Why'd she win the MVP is because, you know, I think we talked about it, even all the people from her battles from that division, like that Atlanta, like she was the best out of all of those battles.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was the best battle of the night, and she won, and they ended up winning 3-2, and I didn't think there was a clear cut. There was nobody who came out and was like, set the room on fire where it's like, it's got to be them. And then I sprung the MVP thing on you guys in 10 seconds. I didn't tell you beforehand, which was 100% my fault. I just kind of like gathered everybody up and I'm like, who's the MVP? Like half the people were like, this guy. I'm like, he was on the losing team. He can't win MVP. And I'm panicking and So anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. You are not biased towards women. You're a fair, objective
I
judge.
hate white women. No, I'm just
Well, today we're going to give you a chance to prove it because we have 5 of my favorite battles from the season featuring a man versus a woman. This is the battle of the sexes. I want you to watch these battles. We're going to react to them. You're going to break them down, and then you are going to tell me who you think won. This is your chance to redeem yourself as a man or let the mob know that you are too woke for the roast battle world. That's the challenge. Let's get into it. Our first battle, this is one of my favorites of the season. This is from Chicago. I'm not sure if you know either of these battlers. Stephanie Robertson, Matthew Mitchell. And the twist here is I don't know if they went out on a date, they hung out as friends, whatever the case was. Evidently, Matthew Mitchell tried to take it to the next level, got rejected, and then for some reason thought it was a good idea to have a roast battle with that person.
Wow.
Which is a terrible decision.
This might be the wokeness talking, but it feels like this is an uphill battle already for one guy.
It does feel that way, yes, but we'll see. We love the white man, so let's see what happens here. It's the first battle we're watching this week. One of my favorites from this season, Stephanie Robertson, Matthew Mitchell from Chicago. Here it is.
Matthew Mitchell is one of my closest friends. He's even seen me cry from laughing so hard after he asked me up to his apartment. I don't know what's crazier, the fact that he thought he had a chance at fucking me or that he got approved for an apartment.
Yes. Well, in my defense, you are a slut. So that's kind of my line of thinking. Thank you. No, Stephanie's a slut, and she has a gay twin brother. Doctors say it's because her mom was swallowing too much cum while they were in the womb.
Matthew's a broke-ass bitch, and he literally didn't have a bank account, a wallet, or a driver's license for an entire year. For as much as he hates immigrants, he sure liked living like one.
Immigrant, why are you poking holes in condoms like your citizenship depends on it? That's my question. That's what I'd like to know, folks. Stephanie's 2 biggest insecurities are she has larger than average ears, and she was in a physically abusive relationship. Yeah, you think with those big ears she'd be able to fucking listen.
Wait, what are you guys laughing at? I don't know.
You getting punched in the face. It's very funny. It's a funny thing.
Yeah. Matthew, you look like you smoke meat after sex. Like, what's that smell?
Jesus. Yeah, see, I'm fat. I can lose weight. You're a slut. You can't unfuck 73 local comedians.
And yet you are in one of 73, so that's kind of a bummer. I have very low standards, and you have yet to meet any of them. It's not hard. Where are we? Oh God, Matthew. Matthew's such an idiot. He got his motorbike stolen and his car stolen in the same year, which is crazy because it looks like they peeled out on his hairline.
Stephanie told me that she wanted to marry into the mob. She said she's trying to attract an Italian mobster, which explains why her pussy looks and smells like an eggplant parmesan.
That's amore, baby.
That's amore.
Oh my God. Matthew's dog actually got recently kicked out of his apartment for barking too loud. When the landlord confronted Matthew said, "You try making this mutt come after fuck me, I fucked it up.
Okay, run it back. You can do it.
The dog was mad. Was trying to fuck his dog. Is really what it was. He has to when I say no. You know, the dog can't. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay. No problem, Hoey de Chanel. That's not too bad. It's okay. Stephanie has 11 piercings, one for every year she was a virgin.
Those piercings made me feel something. Okay, what joke are we on? Oh, Matthew traded in his smartphone for a flip phone. It's like, look, buddy, just because you can't access it doesn't mean you don't want to watch child porn anymore. You know?
Oh, Jesus. Good. Why'd you have to? Well, okay. Well, your mom's dead.
Yeah.
Stephanie's mom died. They say that's what happens if you have a gay son and a thought daughter.
Thank you, Gopher from Caddyshack. Like, he's so stupid. Oh my God. Matt's just mad because his girlfriend's bisexual and her type is me.
Yeah, your boyfriend's 300 pounds. It's true. Yeah, my girlfriend's a bisexual, her boyfriend's a bison. So that's the difference there. Here, I'll do. You might have noticed Stephanie has really long nails. Yeah, this is a comedian with claws. Yeah, a clause in her contract that says no black guys in the green room. Oh, that one sucks.
Black guys are always allowed where I am.
All right, no, sit down. We got one more. Fuck you.
Matthew looks like after he says bazinga after he says the N-word. Yeah, if he was a slave owner, his name would be Miracle Whip.
I got one more. Yeah, it's nice Big Bang. That's great. Yeah, great Big Bang Theory reference. By the way, the Big Bang Theory is what Stephanie calls it when she fucks 5 guys. Nah, but Stephanie was on the show Kill Tony. You guys know Kill? Make some noise if you know Kill Tony, huh? There we go, yeah. Stephanie bombed on Kill Tony. Yeah. A lot of people blow up after doing a set on Kill Tony. The closest Stephanie got was when she put the gun in her mouth after the set.
Matthew, I'll hand the gun right on over to you, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's the best. All right, thank you for telling me.
All right, so that's the first battle. Started off super hot.
Yeah, it started off super hot, and then I felt like I was there at the end of the night when she turned him down. Like, It was very uncomfortable.
You know what's funny? Halfway through, I was like, they actually have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah,
they should have hooked up.
yeah.
And then she fucked up her joke, and then she forgot her next one, and then he took a weird left turn into like no black people around her.
Yeah.
And then it ended with the suicide thing, and we kind of ran out of steam.
It was interesting because he definitely had the momentum in the beginning, even though I think contextually going into it, she had the upper hand because it was like, dog, you're coming at her. She denied you, right?
Right.
And it was like, he came out with the big slut joke out front, and that really put him ahead. And it was like, it's tough. Now he's like, it's always like, you call a girl slut. It's, you know what I mean? Everyone loses their minds, right? And then she dismantled him where she almost took it herself was like, yeah, I am a slut, and you still haven't met any of my standards.
Oh my
which
God,
is such a great way
Yeah.
to take the dagger. And in my perspective as a judge, that evens it out to me.
Yeah.
No one no longer has momentum. So now it just becomes who's got the best jokes after that. And then she flubbed, and it felt like she fucked it up. And then he just had too many out there bits that kind of gave her enough momentum to come back. And I think she had a few good asides, and then she also had one kind of flip. The Amore was good, and then he called her a whore, which was still good, but it was also just like you've already called her a whore so many times.
Right.
There's only so many times you call a chick a whore before it loses its steam. And then you're just like, you're just calling her a whore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He also tried to do something with that Big Bang Theory flip that didn't totally land.
And it's also tough to insult someone by calling them hot.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
When did he call her hot?
He goes, her mom killed herself after she found out. I guess that's what happens when you have a gay son and a thought daughter.
Yeah.
So in my head, if you call someone a thought, she's hot, she's attractive, she's a thought, right? A thought is like a hot whore, right?
That's my understanding, and I'm way too old to know this, but my understanding is that thought is an acronym for that hoe over there.
Yeah, but if that hoe over there is still hot.
I see.
You know what I mean?
I never connected those dots.
You still got to be like, I mean, if you're a hoe, that's fine.
You can't be an ugly hoe.
You can be an ugly hoe, but if you're like, that hoe over there, you're not pointing an ugly hoe out. You're pointing
That's a fair
hot hoe, right?
we're pulling up Urban Dictionary. Thirsty hoe over there. Yeah, can we get this on a mug?
Because also,
a mug?
if you say thought,
Yeah.
the default is hot, right? If you say that ugly thought, I don't even think you call it an ugly thought. You would just say an ugly hoe.
I don't know.
Right?
Weigh in the comments. Can you be an ugly thought? My understanding was yes. I didn't think it had anything to do with looks. I thought he was just calling her a whore, and he's like, I've already said the word whore 30 times. Not exactly ratchet, but nowhere near a dime piece. Now, to be fair, we're pretty far down. This is like, once you get to definition 7 on Urban Dictionary, you're wading in, international waters here. I don't know how accurate this is. There's these are just guesses at this point.
Yeah.
Purely speculative.
We went real well. Anyway, so it's tough to be like, to insult someone by saying they're hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's also tough to call a hot chick ugly.
He had the perfect defense to knowing that she was going to bring up. He tried to sleep with me. For him to just simply go, in my defense, you are a slut.
Yes.
Was great, but then she did come back with, I'm such a slut, and yet I still won't fuck you. Yeah. So what does that say about you?
Which no matter what, you're always kind of setting yourself up for that.
Yeah. So even if we we say offsetting penalties, everything evens out. Now we're just going jokes.
I think she gets it because the whole
wokeism.
Well, she had the thing about him fucking his dog, and I don't know if it was off the top or if she had that written where she was like, he has to fuck his dog because I said no.
Oh, the recovery when she fucked up. Yeah. That was really, really good.
That's the thing. A recovery's tough. A recovery's real tough, and then it's a hit, and you're like, ooh, okay, there's a little extra.
Yeah. All right, so we got the women up 1-0. Frank Castillo
and
judging here.
I didn't want to vote. You know what I mean?
It doesn't
matter.
What
it looks like.
It doesn't matter. What would you do if I picked like 5 battles where the woman clearly won? I don't think that's the case, but
that would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife would be like, couldn't pick a guy. Couldn't pick one guy.
You're gonna pick one guy at some point. I don't know. Now this next battle, I'm curious to see. Do you know Mila Kopayeva?
I actually know Mila very well. She's very, very funny.
She's my next battle.
She is?
I'm battling her in Barcelona.
You're gonna murder her.
I don't think so, dude. I have no idea what to write about this person. None.
Yeah.
It's early in the process, but I kind of did like a preliminary. You know how back in the day you'd get a battle and sometimes as soon as you had the opponent, you're like, I got maybe not 10 jokes, but you're like, I have 10 angles. I have 10 things I'm excited to write about. With her, I'm like, oh God, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's foreign, so just go that way.
They're all foreign. I'm battling in Spain.
Yeah, just be American.
I'm foreign in Spain.
Just be American about it.
Oh, I should just go in and just like big dick it and take over the territory?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll do that. We'll see how that goes. Against like the cutest girl in the whole league, the most like she's tiny and adorable.
No, I've been to Barcelona. There's cute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, no, I understand. So you know Mila. This was a battle she did. I'm actually a big fan of hers.
Yeah,
in
she's
all
actually
honesty.
very, very funny.
She's
His
very
stand-up's good.
funny, and this was a battle she did against a guy named Donatus, and I couldn't remember his last name, and they took it off the video anyway, so he's gone into witness protection, evidently. But this was a fun one, and it was very polarizing. I loved it, a few people loved it, and then other people, her voice. Some people are just like immediately like, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I can't do it. Yeah. If you haven't heard Mila's voice, buckle up. It's the next battle this week. It's Mila Kopayeva against Donatus. Here it is.
This unfuckable dildo is Donatus Kviselos. Donatus Kviselos is not a disease, it's his name. His disease is chronic sweaty hands, which is very convenient because nobody gets wet when he tries to finger them.
I thought this was gonna be bad. This is great. I was so chill. Now I'm shitting my pants. Is it my turn?
It is your turn, yes.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Mila is Russian, right? Everyone knows Cold War has ended, but Mila is still shaving with a hammer and a sickle. The Iron Curtain is a political metaphor separating Soviets from Europe, but the Iron Curtain is also what men call her pussy lips. Because nobody wants to go there. I think she's cute. I would.
Kiss, 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 kiss.
This is Donatas Kviselos. His parents found him in a jar of pickled asparagus. Donatas has two sisters. One is his identical twin, and another one is good looking. He told me that none of them wants to hug him. See, Donatas, even your family doesn't want to touch these sweaty hands.
We'll be making out after the show. Having said that, I just want to put forth that having sex with Mila is very difficult because nobody can find her KGB spot. Because she's Russian. Right? Her favorite sex pose is Russian roulette. It involves having sex with 6 guys, but only one of them has AIDS.
We're gonna see if you was the one after the show. This overstretched condom is Donatas Kviselos. Donatas, thank you for taking time out to roast me. I know you're very busy touring with the Freak Circus. You might recognize Donatas from the biology book as an example of dinosaur skeleton. But despite he looks like that, his main bone doesn't work.
It's very hard to see who's speaking, but I hear you loud and clear. A lot of people don't know this. Mila is an abortion survivor. I would like to just take a second to address the mothers. Mothers, please, if you do decide to have an abortion, make sure that the baby is dead. Don't let your failed abortion grow up and become a failed comedian. It's not too late. It's never too late. Thank you.
This is still Donatas Kviselos. Donatas is 2 meters tall, which is impressive until you realize that 1 meter of it is just his neck. Donatas is like a Kobe Bryant of comedy if he was born too close to Chernobyl factory.
I do play basketball.
I think they were more sad about Chernobyl than they were about COVID.
Okay, let's go to the big ones. Okay, ever since the war in Ukraine, the economy is down and the gas prices are up. It's good that Mila lives in Spain, because otherwise she would be sucking dick to stay warm. Not just to make money.
Last joke.
This is Donatas Kviselos, which means in Latin language, does not ask for consensus. His favorite sex position is outside the window. He prefers people who live on the second floor, so he can look them in the eye.
I do love eye contact. It's the only way I get hard. But I can't see you, so I'm soft. Well, I guess we're down to the last one, guys. A lot of people don't know this, but Mila's last relationship did not work out. It's not what you think. Sanctions. A lot of people been telling her boyfriend, man, you have to stop using Russian products. You have to stop using Russian products. And then he looked at her and he was like, that's it, go. It's not me, it's you. This time it's you. Man, this was not good.
Give it up, guys.
This was so uncomfortable several times, but I loved Donatas's Jason Ellis did this recently too. He did his first ever roast battle in the belly.
Yeah.
And just this thing of like immediately being like, oh fuck, I'm in over my head.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna like awkwardly laugh my way through it and try to be charming. I dig that.
Yeah, where it's like, yeah, you know you're gonna get your ass whooped, but you're just like, I'm gonna take this beating.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. I love. I mean, Mila's so ridiculous. Her voice is so specific. Mm-hmm. She has that very Russian style. It's also so funny in a sense of just the accent itself. It almost lends to the cadence and her natural like roasting jokes.
Yeah.
It almost like it's weird where it's like, is it the cadence that makes it funny, or is it the joke, or is it both?
Dude, I don't know, and that's what I'm afraid of. Because when this episode airs, I will have already battled her. But as we're sitting here talking now, I'm beginning the process of preparing. And when I watch something like that, the moment that I watch that, and I'm just like, fuck, was when she was like, his parents found him in a jar of pickled asparagus. jokes like that, when somebody hits me with a joke like that where it's like really abstract visually, and then the whole crowd laughs, and then I have to stand there and think like, fuck, do I look like a pickled asparagus?
Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the worst thing is when you get hit with a joke where you're like, I don't know how to rebuttal it because I don't even know what they meant.
Yeah.
So when she has that like off the wall kind of like thinking like that, and with her accent, it just like the absurd become. I'm probably giving away game here, but like if you have a crazy accent, you might as well write crazy material because it just like goes hand in hand.
I mean, we saw it with what's his name, Deep.
Yeah,
and it was just so perfect. And it was like his accent was so strong that it ended up dismantling any basic racist jokes used against him, right?
Exactly.
Because it was just like the guy would try to like do an Indian accent or try to make fun of it, and then Deep would just talk, and it was the most Indian accent you've ever heard, and it was just so funny that it just dismantled everything.
Yeah.
So there's almost like, I'm not saying it's like a cheat, but it is using your style and your voice and figuring out how to use it in roast battle. That is an advantage that some people have over some people.
Yeah.
But certain people you battle will figure out how to dismantle that.
Yeah.
You know, like the first person that showed up using Southpaw, you know, everyone was like, what the fuck's going on? He's standing different, you know?
I got to figure out Southpaw for this fight. I feel like I'm in a lot of trouble. Did you used to get that before a battle? Like, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose for sure.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, I assume I'm going to lose every one.
But then you just kind of just go, that's the bad part of your brain, right?
That's the only part of my brain I have.
Yeah, that's the evil comic in you, right?
Yeah.
But then the other comic in you is always just like, no, you've done it, you've prepared, just go with the flow,
right?
Because that's how you feel the second you step on stage. You're like, oh, whatever, shut the fuck up, get out of there. I gotta do this now.
Exactly. Yeah. So who won the battle?
I don't know. No, definitely Mila. Donatus fucked up near the end and had a big flop. Mila definitely kept it going, but I think that whole thing being like, this is Donatus, like that kind of like every time she did it, and it was so simple, but every time she did it, it kind of just got an instant laugh, and then was like, oh, you're kind of just bringing it right back. Like we all get that your voice is ridiculous.
Yeah, lean into it. Yeah. The peeping Tom on the second floor is legitimately
that was really good.
A really, really good
That
joke.
was a really good joke.
Yeah. And 2 meters and one of the meters is his neck.
Yeah.
Dude had a
so
fucking
good.
massive neck.
The thing that I love about international battles, especially like this, is like it really does make me realize how dumb we are as a country. You see,
this made you realize how dumb we are?
Not like in a sense of like when you watch like American roast battle, it's very much steeped in our culture because this is all we know, obviously.
Sure.
You start to go into international, you see different people from different cultures start to battle, and you really like, you're like, oh, you're dropping historical facts. You're dropping shit that we don't even. We're like, oh yeah.
When his setup was like, ever since the war in Ukraine, gas prices are up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, like global economy shit. Like,
since Hernan Cortez in the 1700s, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah, over here we're just like, how many different ways can I call this guy a pedophile and go home?
This motherfucker's making us read a dissertation to get the joke.
Dude, they are significantly smarter than us. And let's stick with international right now, and we're gonna go to London.
So it's 2 women?
No. Oh yeah, women are up 2-0. That's what you're saying? Yeah. It's 2-0 women. Woke Frank is on fire right here. This battle comes to us from. Have you been to London?
No, and I want to go.
Yeah.
I can go. I'm thinking about going next year, and then Hannah says I have to take her.
Yeah.
From now that I've quit, or now that she quit her job and she can travel and all the other stuff that's going on, she's like, I'm going with you to all the fun places.
Yeah, my wife's doing the same thing. Although second time in Tokyo, I was like, look, you can go a second time to Tokyo, or you could do like Barcelona. So now,
Yeah.
I'm getting to do a little solo.
Which is a little weird, right? All of a sudden they want to come. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to come to fucking Bakersfield or Tulare.
I'm saying,
dude. They ain't trying to come to fucking Tucson, Arizona.
My wife actually, she came to a lot.
Oh,
every shit gig I did in the suburbs of Philly.
Yeah,
she was there.
Hannah came to every like roast battle and all the open mics. She put in a lot.
I can't talk shit. I literally met my wife at the Valley Forge Beef and Ale when I was fucking headlining.
I met my wife at a Russell Peters concert. She was the usher. I was sitting next to her.
You had Riz like that? You picked up an usher?
No. So there's the thing. She was the usher, and then I started hitting on her, and then I was like, "You want my jacket?" And she was like, "No." And then I was like, I'm gonna get some drink. You want some drink? And then I was just hitting on her the whole time. It was very obvious I was hitting on her.
Yeah.
And then she got cut from work early, so she left. So I didn't get her number or anything. I didn't see her for another 3 months. And then when I saw her 3 months later, I was like, I got to get a number. And then I asked her out, and then we went on a date. And it was very awkward because her mom asked for my ID and all this stuff. But it was also like, yeah, you've never
She wanted to see your paperwork?
No, she just wanted to see
Like
my
your documentation?
She'd never seen me before. This is the first time we ever met. She didn't know if I lived in the area. So I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm taking your daughter on a date. This is the most precious
You
thing.
got carded?
Yeah.
I
was like, I get it. You know what I mean? But
right.
also, she did it to make sure I wasn't going to be an asshole about it, right?
Right.
So I was like, sure. I just get, and then ever since then, it was easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you're obviously in a healthy, happy relationship with a lot of respect for women, and it's turned you into a woke loser who has the girls up 2-0 here. Let's see if it's a clean sweep, 3-0, or if the men can strike back. Let's go to London right now. And one of the top battlers from London this season, Luke Hall. At the time I'm recording this, he's tied for the league lead in wins. Very funny guy, and this is a battle I absolutely loved. The chemistry between these two, the jokes, all great. It's Luke Hall versus Steph Aratone from earlier this season. Here it is.
Oh! It's between Luke Hall and Steph Aratone. You know what to do. Battle! 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 Battle!
Hi everyone, this is Luke. Say hello to my little friend. Luke is 5'6", which is hard for him because statistically, 6 out of 7 dwarves aren't happy.
Pretty good, and I am one of those. It's true, I am the size of a hobbit. It's great to see Gollum having a brat summer. You know what? That'll do.
I'm not skinny enough to be Gollum, but thank you. That's so flattering. Luke is single. He's got a good job, and he's dating younger women. So he's trying to be a sugar daddy at the moment. But he looks so young. He's more of a fructose brother.
Pretty good. Steph looks like she thinks the power of crystals are going to cure her chlamydia.
He is hoping. Luke always stops to stroke a cat on the street. It is creepy how you already know these women's names.
It's Steph. So Steph has a diploma in wine. She likes to tell people that it's never too early for wine, and I'd like to tell her parents it's never too late for an abortion. Kill yourself.
That's how we all come to Roast Battle 4. Okay. Luke clearly shags loads in the metaverse. But he does have this like weird hot rat boy aesthetic, and that's because he fucks soil.
I like the way it feels on my penis. When Steph's not falling into the fires of Mount Doom, she likes to visit cat cafes, and she donated her eggs last year, which means somewhere out there's a bug-eyed little freak child trying to shag a cat.
Okay, well...
There's a lot of cat fucking here.
Oh no, there is, isn't there? Jimmy Neutron over here studied physics at university.
That guy's smart.
It's uncanny.
That guy's smart.
He did study physics at university, so he could contact his home in outer space,
Yep.
which is ironically a dwarf planet.
It is. Pretty good. That's a good joke. Let's be honest, Steph's a sad, lonely whore. She should apply for Love Island, but I think she should skip the TV bit and kill herself now. Is that fine? That's fine.
That was, I mean, I guess I see why he's tied. That was flawless.
He's really, really good.
She did great too, but that was like, it felt like he had everything for her.
So this is a vote for the boys?
It is definitely a vote for
Let's
the boys.
go.
Yeah.
We're back in the win column.
Yeah.
It's 2-1.
She had a great, I mean, there was one of the bits that she had where it was it's really good, well written. I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it was an easy pick, but it was very well written writing. Because she had a joke about how he likes to pet cats on the street. It's like it's weird that he knows their names, and I was like, that's such a good joke.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Yeah, her opening, say hello to my little friend,
so funny.
And then the statistically 6 out of 7 dwarves aren't happy. That is some of my favorite writing I saw all season.
Yeah, that was really good.
He was just nailing everything. And then I think I said this when we originally watched it on the podcast, but like, it's so funny that like the overall tone of the battle, I felt like had some like energy. I felt like there was a little bit of, I don't know, sexual tension is the right word. I felt like they both kind of had a crush on each other.
Yeah, at some point. Yeah,
I felt that.
Teacher, student kind of vibes.
Which one's which?
You know which one's
okay. But then twice it went from this like adorable, like, like playful, like playground fight where it's like, I can't tell the girl that I like her, so we're just going to kind of like make fun of each other a little bit, to him being like, hey, you should kill yourself.
I mean, if that ain't the classic back and forth between love, just a little flirty action.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I didn't have success on the playground. I always stopped way short of you should kill yourself.
You never told a girl she should kill herself on a date?
No.
That's how you seal the deal.
Damn, there's still still time. I got a long ways to go. But yeah, no, I thought that this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was a real fun battle. It was really good. I liked it.
All right, so we got 2-1 now. Women in the lead, and we got 2 battles left, and I'm saving potentially the battle of the year for last because I want to get your reaction to it. But this one, look, we had a battle between 2 people who one of them tried to date the other one. We had a battle, that one where I am speculating that they at one point had a crush on one another. That's just my speculation. I can't, whatever.
Dude, roast of love.
Roast of love, and it is going to get into this now. This is a battle between exes.
Oh my, how recent?
The battle happened this season.
The exes.
How long? I don't know. I will say this. One of them, Amanda, is battling at the mothership, I believe, tonight. And he's coming with her for moral support down from Toronto. So he's like, hey, I'm going to be at the mothership to support Amanda. I don't know anything beyond that. They dated once upon a time. They were not dating at the time of this video. I don't know what their status is now. I've said on the podcast before, I would never in a million years battle an ex.
Dude, roast battle presents Degrassi.
Yeah. But I'm glad other people do it because it's entertaining.
Have there been exes that have battled besides like that in our little circle that we know of?
I'm sure.
Yeah, Nicole and Dan.
Yeah. They battled after they had broken up. Yeah, there's definitely. If you extend it to people who have had sex before battling each other, I feel like that happens a lot.
Yeah. I'm talking about real feelings of love and relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would have to think, but I would imagine it's happened a few times. But I think it's a terrible idea.
Oh no, absolutely.
But I'm glad they did it.
I'm sure I'm sure people would love to see our wives roast us.
My wife would murder me in a roast battle.
My wife would crush. I'd write jokes for my wife.
They know but no, that my wife wouldn't want my jokes.
Oh.
Because my jokes would be about like what I come from a roast battle world, right? So it would be like, oh, Pat's from Philadelphia, and then whatever. She would be like, no, I know what buttons to push to make you want to kill yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. Like I don't want that. She knows where the bodies are buried. Everybody else can be like, you're fat, you're balding, and I'm like, I don't care. Say whatever you want. Yeah. She knows the things to say. She would not win in front of the crowd. The crowd would be like, this isn't funny, but they would see me like crying on stage.
Yeah. Hannah would just have to show all the pictures she has of me naked sleeping.
Yeah, she was into that for a while, right?
She still is. She's got a full album.
She's putting together a coffee table book?
Dude,
what's the end game?
Well, here's the thing. She sent me a picture that she'd taken of me naked once, and then I actually got an artist in London to do a charcoal sketch drawing of it.
Oh my
God.
God.
I gave it to her as an anniversary gift.
Oh my God, dude. How much did that cost you?
It's like $100.
Ah, it's a steal.
Yeah.
Yeah. AI could never. That's why
no.
We can't give all these jobs to AI. Yeah. That's so funny.
They can take the blowjob jobs.
We'll talk off air. Fourth battle this week. Toronto, Sebastiano Fazio, Amanda Custodio. Here it is.
Guys, Amanda's favorite rapper is 50 Cent, which is fitting because her pussy is filled with many men. Many, 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 many men. And after sleeping with her myself, I wish death upon me.
You know, that's actually so crazy. And do you want to know why it's so crazy? Because when me and Sebastian dated, I had sex with many men, many, 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 many men, and they were all black.
Why'd you have to specify they were black?
It's just
I know they were black. I'm the one who paid them.
A woman once rejected Sebastian for not being 6 feet tall, so he just put her 6 feet under.
Amanda's home country, Portugal, has a record for the world's largest omelet. The biggest waste of eggs since the one that made Amanda. Amanda's parents actually, as a kid, called her their little egg because they beat her.
Sebastian was molested by priests in Italy.
That's the truth.
Like I said, he was molested by priests in Italy.
Can you guys stop laughing? What the fuck is wrong with that? That's not even the joke. You guys are like...
They're laughing because they know I pegged you. That's why they're laughing. Anyways, yeah, he got molested by priests in Italy. He didn't grow up with a father, but his asshole was full of fathers. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
While we were dating, I refused to eat Amanda's ass because I hate when there's hair in my food. I actually broke up with Amanda during COVID because, in my defense, it was much easier going down on her without a sense of taste. Because it's disgusting down there. This guy knows. What's up?
You know what?
This guy knows. What's up? I'm just trying to cause one other breakup so people know my misery. One secret.
I will say that the crazy part of him saying that is that the 3 times he did eat my ass, that was the only time he ever flossed. Anyways,
I think this belongs to you.
Ready for? Probably does. I actually cried all the time during my relationship with Sebastian after being with him for 2 years. And it's still the only time he's ever made me wet.
All right, well, we got the sisters voting for Amanda.
What do you mean by sisters?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck is that supposed to mean, sisters?
I'm gonna try to high-five the gay guy again.
How was I supposed to know he was gay? I'm not making assumptions.
Because
you're definitely a lesbian. We got the lights on. Shut the fuck up. Amanda's grandpa died shortly after molesting Amanda. Wow, another man who hit it and quit it.
You know what? Yeah, I was molested by my grandfather. Yes, and still, Sebastian is the worst sexual experience I've ever had. Last year, Sebastian left me for a girl so young that she doesn't remember the 9/11. But that's okay, because now I'm dating a guy so old that he doesn't remember 9/11.
Amanda is an actor and a cocaine addict, so in both cases she has to suck dick to get any lines. All right, we know where the horse are.
No refunds.
Sebastian once got banned from Comedy Bar for 2 months for using the R word on stage. But in his defense, like black people using the N word, he's just taking the word back.
Yeah. So that was the battle. I felt like there was a definite different approach to it, right? I think if you're going in and battling an ex, you got to figure out what is my game plan.
Yeah, it did feel like mom and dad were telling you that they're getting a divorce and it's your fault.
Yeah, but I think with Amanda, what she was able to really effectively do was that Taylor Swift thing. You know, Taylor Swift writes a song, and by the end, everybody's like, oh, it was an empowering thing for her to like break up with this guy, right? If you ask the Swifties, she's ahead 300-0 in the breakups, right? So Amanda was very much like, your dick is trash. I'd rather be molested by my uncle. I don't miss being with you at all. You only ate my ass 3 times, which is a very specific
The
number.
flossing line's wild.
Yeah, dude, that was that got a little too gross for me. Hair in the food I was okay with, but the flossing I was like, let's pump the brakes on this. Whereas I thought he went like, but she pulled back. She didn't go super dark, I feel like, most of the times.
Yeah.
Whereas he was like trying to go as dark as possible.
Yeah.
I think he also definitely felt like he was fighting the crowd.
Yeah.
And like the judges, and he was trying to like riff, and he was like digging his hole like deeper and deeper at times. What'd you think of the battle?
It was tough. You know, it's not often you see a white man flounder like that. You know what I mean? He was going up against a lot of there's a lot of support for her in that room, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he lost him at Sisters.
Yeah. The black judge turned on him at that moment. Yeah. And but he started it. And after the one joke, he was like fist bumping dudes in the crowd, and he was like, this guy knows what I'm talking about. He kind of like invited the crowd into it. You got to be careful when you do that. Yeah, so
you never know who you invite in.
Right, that's true. Also, I love how he was able to make him being a cuck into an insult.
Yeah.
That was pretty slick.
Yeah.
How he's like, I know they were black. I paid for them.
And I watched from the corner.
Yeah.
Who's powerful now?
Joke's on you. It is really funny that she was like, her initial thing was like, I cheated on you, and they were all black.
It's also like, it says a lot about him, but I was like, wait, why is that is that gonna hurt you?
Right, like I was saying before, like my wife knows what buttons to push. Maybe that is a button for him. Maybe she knows something that we don't. Because on the surface, I'm like, it's kind of a weird choice, but maybe in that moment he was like, God damn it, not the blacks again.
Why'd you bring it up?
Yeah, exactly. When you get rejected for not being 6 foot tall, I could see you having
it's
that.
definitely the blacks' fault.
Yeah. 100%. So what's the official count?
With that, I would have to go her.
Yeah.
Just because it was like,
I put you in a tough spot.
He really did. So that the women all the way with him, right?
3-1. You gave Luke the last battle in London, so it's 3-1. But I mean, that seals the deal for the women. I want everybody to leave the comment, woke Frank, cancel woke Frank in the comments. So 3-1 now. Women have officially won this thing, but I do want to watch this battle before we get out of here. And I want to get Frank's opinion on this, because a lot of you guys who have been with us the whole season, you know that this was arguably the battle of the year. So much fun stuff in this one. We're running out of time here, so I just want to jump right into it. It is Shalaka Corrupt, arguably the greatest RBL battler in the first 2 seasons. perennial MVP candidate, going up against Jack Traynor from Scotland, who had his breakthrough season this year. And this battle happened at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and it was absolutely incredible. So I want to see what this man thinks about it. Chilaka, Jack, let's get into it.
Gosh, aren't I glad we're doing this when racial tensions are at an all-time low?
Do you know Jack?
I'm blown away.
Get ready, brother. Buckle up.
We look like 2 generations of Velma from Scooby-Doo. Like, I'm the old original one and she's the new one that annoys all the racists on Twitter. Usually I get the train into gigs, but I phoned an Uber this time so I could get some dirt on Shalaka from her uncle.
We do look alike. You look like my parents tried to abort me and then raise the remains.
She's unbelievable.
Anyway, this autistic nonce is Jack Traynor. Jack looks like he says, "Avengers, assemble!" before he has a threesome with his siblings.
It's funny that you mention abortions. Shalaka's parents were going to abort her, but they weren't allowed to because cows are seen as sacred in India. And you... I might not gig after this. You can tell Shalaka was an accident because she looks like she was conceived via a near-fatal tuk-tuk accident.
Thank you, Chucky's first transition.
He's got a great
Jack, you look like your face is a disguise.
I'm really glad Shalaka could make it here tonight. She's really bounced back after getting racially abused by Jade Goody in Big Brother 2007.
Such an old reference.
You mentioned me having autism earlier. Shalaka has a PhD in trains. Wait for it. To you, that might sound impressive, but to me, that sounds like a very expensive and time-consuming autism diagnosis. Sometimes you get autism, sometimes the autism chooses you. Shalaka's bisexual, so that means Shalaka dick and a pussy.
So rich making autism jokes when you don't like when your food's touched, but apparently it's okay when your eyebrows do it. Anyway, this is rumpled foreskin. Jack looks like he was assembled from the body parts found at the NASCAR bombing.
That's a good one.
Jack looks like a non-binary squirrel. Can he find my nuts?
Shalaka's boyfriend's from Sheffield, proving that a drunk Englishman will eat out from any Indian regardless of the hygiene rating. He also told me that Shalaka's so Indian she initiates sex by unzipping his fly and playing a woodwind instrument till his cock comes out like a king cobra.
This is Jack Traynor, an ironic name for a man that needs assistance to tie his shoelaces. Jack says he's riddled with learning difficulties, but I'd say learning difficulties are riddled with Jack. He actually got a scholarship to go to university, which is what people from Cumbernauld get when they can both read and write. So
That was a local reference.
Thank you, Bob's Burger looking ass. You look like Bob's Burgers if there was a Bollywood remake called Bajit's Biryanis. I thought the tragedy in Southport was the most disgusting thing that has happened in a dance class till I found out Shalaka done pole fitness. We had a good run.
anyway, this inbred mollusk is Jack. Jack looks like that kid who used to eat his own boogers in the hopes of finding more cocaine. Jack does mushrooms, which is what he calls picking and eating anything that's growing under his foreskin.
Damn, that's tough. That's real tough. She had a lot of really good jokes. They were all very so smart and structurally sound. He had some just off the wall, ridiculous shit. His accent was so good.
Yeah.
That Chilaka pussy and Shalaka dick.
Shalaka the dick and the pussy.
That shit made me laugh so goddamn hard.
It was unbelievable.
She did great.
Yeah.
Shalaka did phenomenal. I think Jack took it away from me solely on performance. His jokes were great, but just that little extra on it was really like that. He was a 10. She was definitely like an 8 for me.
Yeah, I mean, as we're recording this, we still have a month left in the regular season. That was actually called a draw in the room.
I get that.
Which I'm not mad at.
I'm not mad at that. I get that.
And it maintained Shalaka's undefeated record for the season. Now, as we sit here right now, those guys are 1 and 2 in the MVP voting. Or the late, not MVP voting, but the latest top 25. Yeah. For Jack, he was a guy, I think he only had one battle last season, and this year he's just he's on here every other week, and he's just a fucking murderer.
Well, it's like what we always say.
Funny.
It's like when you're going against a champ, you got to clearly beat the champ.
Yeah.
Can't be close.
Yeah, but I mean, the 1-2 punch of the autism choo-choo chooses
that
you.
That shit was so good.
And Shalaka the dick and the pussy.
Oh my God.
He was cooking there.
Yeah.
That was
I'm a fan of both of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Two of the best. As we sit here now, one or both. That could be a rematch at the World Championships. We'll find out.
Love it.
So you're are you gonna go with Jack? You gonna pull it a little bit closer so you don't look too woke?
I got to go Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I was in that room, draw.
This was great. We got to get out of here. Thank you to the Creek and the Cave for letting us do this here. This is amazing. Where can they find you? Where can they find your podcast?
Frank Castillo on Instagram is my email at Yahoo. They're gonna sign me up for so much ridiculous shit.
Did you just give out your Yahoo email address?
I don't know why I did that.
You have a podcast.
I know.
Plug that.
You can find me at To Be Frank Podcast on YouTube and Spotify and Apple.
Oh my God. And I am super awesome Pat on AOL Instant Messenger. Hit me up. At RBL Commish on Instagram. Subscribe here on YouTube. See you guys next week with more RBL Weekly.